Evening, VC. Dave here. Alex, Motorik247 out in California has hit 200 subscribers and has set forth a Herculean task of a contest. We are to show our top 5 jazz records, excluding John Coltrane. And just brutal deliberation in my brain on this one, but really love Alex's channel. One of my go-tos for learning about new music, and I've got a few here that I would have no clue about these records without his channel. So highly recommend getting over to it and exploring everything there. First is second record from Heldon. This is Richard Pinhas from France. Guitar and electronic musician, just amazing. This is one of the best pieces of music I own. This is a reissue on Bureau B, and they have done a fantastic job with their Heldon reissues, among other artists. In the Wake of King Fripp is just a masterpiece, absolute masterpiece. And learned about Heldon through one of Alex's videos showing pretty much the discography, and also was able to pick this up at a convention. Heldon 4 is an original U.S. pressing. I believe this is on Oral Explorer. The first Heldon record I just showed there is more guitar driven. This is more electronics driven here. Amazing. Just mind-blowing stuff right here, and one of my favorite album covers of all time, easily. Some more electronic music that he turned me on to that just I would never know about without Alex's channel. This is Jean-Jacques Berge, Francis George, and Chirac. Name of the album is Défense Day. This is an original French pressing on Sun Records. Got this from Dusty Groove in Chicago. Copies beat, but I mean this is a fairly rare record to find. Fantastic electronic record with just crazy synthesizers, and there's alto sax on this. Unbelievable, killer. And then this recent pickup is another artist I would have never known about without Alex's channel, and that's Joe McPhee, Nation Time. This is mind-blowing live show. It was recorded live at Vassar College Urban Center for Black Studies. I've shown this recently. This is a Superior Viaduct reissue from this year, and one of the best reissues that's going to come out this year for sure. Originally released in 1971. Amazing records. Just always, and he had some videos with a DJ setup where I got to you get to hear some of this, you know, so you already know what you're getting into. Fantastic. So the task at hand, just, man, brutal. So top 5: Miles Davis, ESP. Easily my favorite Miles record. This is an absolutely beautiful record, right down to his gorgeous wife at the time on the cover. Unbelievable. One of the greatest lineups in the history of jazz, hands down. Wayne Shorter, tenor sax, Tony Williams on the drums, Ron Carter on the bass, Herbie Hancock on piano. This is an original stereo pressing on Columbia. And the year escapes me. Next, Billy Harper, Black Saint, on the Black Saint label from Italy. This is a grail for me. This has still got the original shrink on it that will drive Chris from Tunes from the Man Cave nuts. This is, I believe, an original first press, if I'm not mistaken, because it is the white and black label and not the color label of the saxophone player on it that you normally see from Black Saint. And I got this from London. Just some crazy seller that I happened to come across. This was a steal. I can't remember what I paid for it, but it was way less than half of what it normally goes for. So originally put out in 1975. You've got Virgil Jones on trumpet, Joe Bonner on piano, David Friesen on the bass, Malcolm Pinson on the drums. If you don't know Billy Harper, easily one of the greatest tenors to ever play. Easily. The next is maybe my favorite jazz record ever. I don't know if I have anything that tops this. And that's Hal Galper, Now Hear This, on Inner City. It's an original. Oh, what year was this? 77 was when this was recorded. Tara Masahino on the trumpet here, Cecil McBee on bass. Tony Williams is immense on the drums on this one. And Hal Galper, one of my favorite piano players. I just absolutely love his style. And this record has everything you'd ever want in a jazz record. And it led me down a lot of paths. Putting Hal Galper's discography together, Tara Masahino's, which is really difficult. His tone is that of Miles Davis. He is from Japan. Phenomenal player. He plays some flugelhorn on here as well. But Tony Williams, this is one of his pinnacles right here on this record. Fantastic. And then the next in the top 5, one of my prized possessions, one from the amazing lot of records that I got from Teddy at Eat Sleep Vinyl. That's Sun Ra, Sleeping Beauty. This is an original on El Saturn from 1979. The whole DIY deal. I've shown this record a few times. The music on here is unbelievable. Springtime Again, Door of the Cosmos, probably my favorite Sun Ra song of all time. Sun Ra is way up there for me, and it's thanks to my brother. It's funny, when I first got into jazz, I came home for the first time and in a long time, and Ross was like, "Oh, I see you're into jazz," and I was like, "Yeah," and I never knew him to listen to any. And he's like, "You need to check out Sun Ra." He's like, "That's what I listened to when I was in college." And I was like, "Sun Ra, all right." And I think I listened to some of his Impulse stuff and I was like, "Oh boy, this is a little bit out there for me." And then I discovered the late 70s Sun Ra period on his own label here, and was absolutely floored. Some of the most beautiful music you'll ever hear. Amazing record. Very happy to have some Sun Ra OGs. The last in my top 5, which might be surprising, but this record absolutely blew my mind when I first heard it, and I love this record. Found this down in Savannah at Grayface Records, one of my favorite record stores. I always find amazing jazz there for really good prices. This is a very, very inexpensive record, but one that I adore. It's a Dexter Gordon Quartet, Something Different, on Steeplechase. This is from 1980, Denmark pressing. This had been a library copy somewhere, so the cover's not the best of shape, but this plays amazing. This is the time period when Dexter had to leave the States to get work, basically, and some of the best sessions of his life were overseas. The lineup here is unbelievable. You've got Niles Henning Orsted Peterson on the bass, my favorite bass player ever. Philip Catherine on the guitar, phenomenal. I've just picked up some more of his records. Billy Higgins on the drums, and the ever smooth Dexter Gordon on the sax. Yeah, I'll read this to you on the back, and it does actually talk about Coltrane here. It says, John Coltrane, at least the train of, say, Cousin Mary. The melody executes a series of artful dance steps which are reflected throughout the solos. Guided so impeccably by Niles Henning Orsted Peterson and Higgins, Dexter continually approaches these hurdles from different angles, taking them not as obstacles, but as springboards from which to reflect contrasting melodic facets of the harmonic substructure. Amazing record. And yeah, that's my top 5. I don't know. This was a really tough contest because there's stuff I'm listening to right now that I'm like, oh, that's got to be in my top 5. But those were the ones that immediately went right in my brain. So congrats on the 200 subs, man. I've been really enjoying the other entries. This is killer. Peace.